All right, let's start off correcting lesson 3.8. As you guys might have heard me mentioning as you were logging in, we are having a test tomorrow. So if you have questions, please make sure you are asking them. We have a quick quiz tomorrow.
Miss Triplett,
Yes.
on number 5, I just said oak logs, if that's fine. I
Number 5, you said what?
Oak logs.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Miss Triplett,
Yes.
number 3, can I do 1 1/2?
Number 3 can be 1 1/2. Absolutely.
On the subtraction in the second one, my answer was 6/20.
So this part right here,
Yes.
what was your answer again, Hazel?
6.
I keep losing you. Do you want to type it into the chat? I don't think that there's any other options other than 1/10 unless you have like 2/20ths or 3/30ths. But because 3/5 becomes 6/10, 1/2 becomes 5/10, 6 minus 5 is 1, and our denominator stays the same.
I did cross canceling though.
So when we add and subtract, we can't cross cancel. That's only a multiplying and dividing tool.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have clarified that. You guys see all the way down to the bottom, okay?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Miss Triplett,
Yes.
on number 6 and 7, I think I did something wrong.
Number 6 and 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we said they were multiplying. And so we have 3/4 times 1/8, 3/4 times 1/8. Remember, we multiply our numerators. So 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 8 is 32. And then on number 7, you might have come up with a different answer. I cross-canceled. Well, actually, you should have still ended up with 4. So 1 3/5, we have to change that. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8/5 times 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5/2. You might have had 40/10, but 40/10 still simplifies to 4.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, let's take a look at the other side. Let me pin it down so it stays closed a little bit more. Your number 17 is more than likely totally different from my number 17. because we had to create our own word problems using mixed numbers. All right, any other questions on this side?
I sent you a private message.
Still working? Okay.
Mr. Blythe said I sent you a private message.
Oh, I see. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So 7. So again, we're multiplying. Remember, when we multiply, we have to change them to fractions greater than 1. We cannot multiply them as mixed numbers. So 9 times 4 is 36, plus 4 is 40. Keep my same denominator of 9. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 more is 8, over 3. Keep my same denominator. And then I have 40 times 8, which is 320. This one was a big, ugly one. 9 times 3 is 27. And then I did my division over here. 27 goes into 320. I got 11 times with 23 left over and a denominator of 27. Okay, that one was big and ugly. Number 8, changing 6 1/5 to a fraction greater than 1. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 is 31 over 5. 10, we just make it 10 over 1. I went ahead and cross-canceled, but you didn't have to. You could have done 31 over 5 times 10 over 1. 31 times 10 is 310 over 5. And then when you divide 5 into 310, you would get 62. Okay. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 5 is 23 over 6. Keep my same denominator. Times 12/13. Again, I cross-cancel. You didn't have to. If you didn't, it was big and ugly again. 23 times 12 is, what's that? 6, 4, placeholder, 3, 2, 6, 276 over 6 times 13. 13 times 6 is 1878. But then when you divide 78 into 276, you should have still come up with that. Another big ugly one. Yuck. And the last one, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16 over 3 times 3/5. Again, I saw I had my 3's on the corner, so I cross-canceled those. If you didn't, that's okay. 16 times 3 is 48 over 15. When I divide 15 into 48, I should still end up with 3 1/5. Any other questions? All right, let's go ahead and switch over to our student activity books. I am going to warn you guys, like I like to do, this concept can be kind of a tough concept. So I need you guys just to come into this with an open mind and try your best and make sure you ask questions and know that we're going to be doing lots of different practices on this, okay? But it is kind of a tough concept. It's kind of fun when we're in the classroom because we have a little skit that we can do to help you kind of see it, but there's just no way to do that little skit over Zoom. So unfortunately, we can't do that part, but we're gonna do our best to make this work. So we are making predictions. That's the main thing, predicting. And what we're gonna predict is whether our product, what's a product again, friends?
Our answer to a problem.
Your answer to a multiplication problem, yes. We are gonna predict if the product, the answer to the multiplication problem, is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to the second factor. What's a factor?
A
number.
partner, like something, a number, like a number that you multiply to get the answer.
Yes, it's one of the numbers that you're multiplying when you get an answer. So if I have 3 times 2 equals 6, my 3 and my 2 are my factors, and my 6 is my product, okay? If you don't know those vocab words, maybe write them down to help you out. So I'm gonna predict if 2/5 times 3/4 is my answer, is my product going to be greater than 3/4, less than 3/4, or equal to 3/4? And here's the thing, guys. Remember, we kind of did this last week when they had all those letters in there, remember, and we were trying to put numbers in where we had letters, and we talked about if we're multiplying something by a fraction, by something less than 1, we said it was going to get smaller. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I was going to say that it was going to be less than.
Okay. If we're multiplying something by a number greater than 1, we said it was going to become larger. The answer would be bigger because we're multiplying it by something bigger than 1. And then we also said if we multiply it by 1, it's going to stay the same, right? That's when it's going to be equal. So let's take a look at this first one. 2/5 times 3/4. My answer, is my answer going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 3/4? Look at what I'm multiplying it by. I'm multiplying that 3/4 times 2/5. What do we know about 2/5?
It's
Less than.
a low. Well,
2/5 is less than 1. So my answer is going to be less than 3/4 because I'm multiplying it by something less than 1. Okay, so if we are going to multiply by less than 1, our answer will get smaller. Again, I would take these notes in my book too. If we're multiplying by something less than 1, our answer will get smaller. And all that these x's are just our answers. So we're not actually even solving it yet. We just want to know, is our answer going to be larger or smaller?
smaller.
Okay, awesome. And then the last step is to actually solve it. So compute means solve. X
6
equals, well,
20ths.
3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 4 is 20. 6/20 is definitely smaller than 3/4, isn't it? Because 3/4 is almost a whole, and 6/20 is less than a half. All right, deep breath. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, 6/6 times 3/4. So 3/4, we're going to look at this 6/6. What does 6/6 equal to?
1 whole.
One whole.
One whole. So is our answer going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 3/4?
Equal to?
Equal to.
I hear equal. Why is it going to be equal?
Because you're multiplying the number by 1. So it's
You're multiplying by
gonna be the
1.
same.
Yes, awesome, Jackson. Thank you. Yes, we're multiplying by 1. Anytime we multiply by 1, our answer stays the same, right? It is equal to the other factor. So when I compute this, I don't have to do 6 times 3/4 because I know I'm just basically multiplying it by 1. So my answer is going to be 3/4. Really, it would be 18 over 24, but 18 over 24 is the same as 3/4. Okay, deep breath. Let's look at the next one. I'm multiplying this number. It doesn't even matter what this number is. Is that number greater than, less than, or equal to 1?
Greater than.
It's
Greater than.
greater than 1, yes. So if I am multiplying 3/4 by something greater than 1, is my answer going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 3/4?
Greater than.
My answer is going to be greater than 3/4 because I'm multiplying it by something larger than 3/4. Excellent. To solve it, let's see, that's 7, 8, 9. So 10/7 times 3/4 is 30 over 28, which is 1 and 2 28ths, which really we could simplify, but that's okay. Okay. So again, the clue here, the thing that we're looking at is we're looking at that first fraction to see if it's greater than, less than, or equal to 1 whole. And then here we said it was less than 1 whole. So look, our answer was less than. Here we said it was equal to 1 whole. So look, our answer was equal. And here we said this number was greater than 1 whole. And our answer there is greater than. You guys see that connection? Yes, Miss Triplet, we see the connection. Awesome. All right, let's look at the next line then. So the only difference here is now we've gone from just a simple fraction to a mixed number. Nothing else changes though, guys. Nothing else changes. So I'm gonna put a box around this first fraction because that's the one I'm comparing to my 2.5. What does 3/3 equal?
1. 1
whole. Is 1 whole greater than, less than, or equal to 1 whole?
Equal. Equal.
Equal.
Equal.
So is X going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 2.5?
Equal.
Equal. Yes, yes. So when I compute, what does X equal? 2.5, right?
2.5.
It said it was equal. Okay. Let's look at my next one. 2 2/3. Is that greater than, less than, or equal to 1 whole?
Greater than.
Greater.
It's greater than 1 whole. So is my answer going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 2.5?
Greater than.
Greater than.
Greater than.
The answer is going to be greater than 2.5. Okay. And now we have to compute. Let's see. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8/3, times 4, 5/2. You could cross cancel, but we'll just go with it. 40 over 6. I know 6 can go into 40 6 times with 4 left over. We'll go 6 and 4, 6. Okay. We're going to do one more together, and then I'm going to have you try that last row on your own, okay? We'll go over it afterwards, but I'm going to give you a second to try it on your own. So make sure you're paying attention on number 6. Okay. Here we go. 7/8. I'm going to put a box around my 7/8 because that's the one I'm comparing to my 2.5 here. 7/8. Is 7/8 greater than, less than, or equal to 1 whole?
Less than.
Less than.
Less
It's less than a whole. So is my answer going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 2.5?
Less than.
Less than.
Less than. Yes. Yes, less than 2.5. So now multiply, I have 7/8 times 5/2 That's 35 over 16. Let's see, it's gonna be 2 times because I know 16 times 2 is 32. And I've got 3 left over. Okay. You might be like, piece of cake, I got this, let's keep going. You might be like, is she speaking English to us this morning or is she practicing her Spanish? Okay. I understand that we could be on those 2 totally different ends of this concept. So I want you to try and do 7 through 9 on your own. If you are totally confused, at least do the multiplication part right here and get your final answer, okay? At least do that part, because then you can use that to help you figure out the greater than, less than, or equal. So I'm gonna stop talking for 2 minutes while you do 7, 8, and 9.
Should I play?
Yes.
Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
Yep. Got 1 minute down, 1 minute to go. So compute just means solve. It means figure out what 1 1/10 times 5 is. What's 9/10 times 5? Compute just means solve. Oh, and our 2 minutes is up. All right, here we go. If you got it, if you're done, stay with us. Check your work as we go. If you didn't get it, continue to learn as we go, okay? So now I have a whole number here. Again, we went from a simple fraction like 3/4 to a mixed number to a whole number. That part doesn't matter, guys. That part doesn't matter, because what matters is still this first fraction and whether it's greater than, less than, or equal to 1 whole. So 1 1/10, is that greater than, less than, or equal to a whole?
Greater.
It's greater than. So my answer is going to be greater than 5. Let's check it out, see if that's true. 10 times 1 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So I have 11/10 times 5 over 1. You might have cross-canceled. If not, that's okay. You would have had 55 over 10. I know 10 goes into 55 5 times. Is 5 5/10 greater than 5?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know I did it right because I got an answer greater than 5. Let's look at the next one. 9/10 greater than, less than, or equal to 1.
Less than.
Less than.
Less than.
So I'm going to predict that my answer is going to be less than 5. 9/10 times 5 over 1. 9 times 5 is 45. 10 times 1 is 10. I know 10 goes into 45 4 times with 5 left over. Is 4 5/10 less than 5?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it is. We got it right. And our last one, 10/10. Is that greater than, less than, or equal to 5?
Equal.
I'm sorry, equal. Yes, it's equal to 1. Let's see if our answer is equal to 1. 50 over 10, right? If I were to multiply this, 50 over 10, 10 goes into 50 5 times. It's equal.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it right. Okay. So now we're going to make some generalizations. Generalizations are just statements that you can use that work for a variety of situations. Okay. So we're going to make some generalizations that go along with the predicting and multiplying that we did up top here. And it's the stuff we've been talking about as we've been going. So if I'm multiplying any number, they called it n, but it doesn't matter, any number by a factor less than 1, is my product going to be greater than, less than, or equal to that number I multiplied by?
Less than.
Less than, yes. If I'm multiplying by a factor less than 1, my answer is going to get smaller. It's going to be less than the factor I was multiplying by. What if I multiply any number by a factor equal to 1? What's going to happen with my product?
It will stay the same.
It's going to be equal. It's going to be equal to that number I was multiplying it by. Yep, to the other number. And what if I multiply any number by a factor greater than 1?
It will be
Is my product is going to be greater than the other factor. Okay. I would keep this handy, actually this whole page, because it is a great reference page for you, for your homework tonight, and also even for your quick quiz tomorrow. You can use these as references to help you with the work. Okay. It's not cheating to use it as a reference.
Cheating?
So multiplying a fraction by a fraction equal to 1 gives us an equivalent fraction. We've done equivalent fractions before. It's the same as multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So 4/7 times 3/3 gives us 12 over 21. Those are equivalent. Okay. I'm not sure why they did the same thing twice here. So down at the bottom, they just want us to find some equivalent fractions by multiplying it by something equal to 1. So I might multiply it by 2 over 2, because is 2 over 2 equal to 1?
Yeah.
Is 2 over, yes.
Yes.
So 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10. So 4/5 and 8/10 are equivalent. We've talked about this a lot already, how as long as you're multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number, you know they're equivalent, right? We've used this for all of our adding and subtracting. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to multiply all of these by 2 over 2, just because it's a pretty simple, pretty basic fraction that's equal to 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 11 times 2 is 22. You could choose a different fraction. You could do 10 over 10. You could do 150 over 150. You could do 73 over 73. It doesn't matter as long as your numerator and your denominator that you're multiplying by are equivalent. Okay?
Miss Triplet,
Yes.
could we do at least one of the same things as yours?
You could do them all the same as me. I'm good with that, Amaya.
Okay.
Okay? All right. And on the back, we have some fabulous word problems. Yay!
Yay.
I love word problems because they show you where you can use these skills that you've been learning in real life. Because that is a question I get all the time. When are we ever going to use this in real life? Do you guys think that question sometimes?
Yep.
Why do I have to learn this? When am I ever going to learn this? Well, say you have a box of granola that weighs 18 ounces and a box of cornflakes that weighs 7/9 as much as the granola. And you are just dying to know which one weighs more. Have you ever had that situation in your life? You might. You
Yes.
might end up with that situation.
Maybe.
So if I was going to solve this, It would be 18 times 7/9, right? But I need to find out first, do the cornflakes weigh more or less than 18 ounces? So if I'm taking this 18 and I'm multiplying it by 7/9, is 7/19 greater than, less than, or equal to 1 whole?
Less than.
Less than. So is my answer going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 18?
Less than.
Less than. So the cornflakes must weigh less than 18 ounces. Let's check it out. 18 times 7/9. Are you guys okay if I do some cross canceling on this one?
Yes.
I'll show you how I do it. 18 times 7/9. 1 and 7, I can't cross cancel anything there. But 9 and 18, I know that 9 goes into both of those. 9 goes into 18 2 times, and 9 goes into 9 1 time. So I divided both of those by the same thing. So 2 times 7 gives me 14 over 1, which is the same as 14 ounces. Make sure you label that answer.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Your screen is frozen for me.
Is it frozen for everybody?
No,
Okay.
not for me.
Oh, it isn't anymore. Never mind.
Okay, good. Number 17, a rectangle has a length of 3 1/4 feet and a width of 3 1/3 feet. Is the area of the rectangle less than or greater than 3 1/4? So I have 3 1/4 times 1 1/3, right? Because to find area, we multiply.
Yeah.
And I want to know if the answer is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 3/4. So I have to look at this other factor to determine if my product is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 3 1/4. So you guys tell me, if I'm multiplying 3 1/4 times 1 1/3, is my answer going to be greater than, less than, or equal?
Greater.
Greater. I hear lots of graters. Yes. Why is it greater?
Because
Because
1
it's
and
more
1/3
than
is
one.
greater than 1.
Because 1 and 1
1/3 is
Oh, okay.
Yes, because this is greater than 1. So that means my answer is going to be bigger because I'm multiplying it by something bigger than 1. So let's see. We've got 13/4 times 3/4. Oh, I'm going to cross cancel because I see those 4s on the corners. I'm going to cross those both out. 13 times 1 is 13. 3 times 1 is 3. Simplify that up. I know 3 can go into 13 4 times with 1 left over, right? Because 4 times 3 is 12. I need 1 more to get to 13. 4 1/3 feet. Oh, this is where I need my squared because I was finding area, right? The units for area should be squared. We'll get more into that as we move on through the year. All right. I think that you guys are doing a pretty good job with this. And I want to make sure you have some time to work on your homework also with me online. So I'm not going to do 18 and 19. Instead, let's flip over to our homework book.
One more.
Okay. So the top 6 questions on your homework are just like the top of that other page that we did. They're just like this. The only difference is they don't have the difference in colors to kind of show you. But we are using this first fraction to determine what's going to happen to the 6 in our product. Is our product going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 6? Down here, we're again using the first fraction to determine if our product is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 5/6. Okay? And then you have a couple word problems just like we did below. On the back side, just a review of several different skills. We've got the bar graph. We've got some adding, subtracting, multiplying. Make sure that you're looking at the operation before you solve it. couple of fraction boxes, and your favorite, stretch your thinking. So I'm gonna have you guys stay online. We've got 10 minutes left of class. We're gonna work on pages 63, 64. Let me take out my planner here real quick. We have math, homework, and remembering, page 63 to 64, both the pages. I'm not going to give you a multiplication slide today because I want you to really focus on this math concept, because you're going to have 3 questions on your quick quiz tomorrow that go with this concept, okay? And I'm going to give you guys a hint. I'm going to give you yet another hint. If you are still a little confused on this prediction part, go ahead and solve it. Go ahead and do your compute first, because this is what X is equaling. So then that'll tell you what number to put there. And you can say, oh, I got, I don't know, 5 1/3 here. That's not the right answer, don't put it. I got 5 1/3 here, so I know that 5 1/3 is less than 6. So you can kind of work backwards on it a little bit too if you're still a little confused on this, okay? Stay online with me. I'm not going to open up breakout rooms because we're down to about 8 to 10 minutes.